Oh yeah, right then, here we are in Barcelona. It is the CSGO ESL, other abbreviations, Invitational. We've had a number of fantastic matches so far, some that have blown our mind, others which haven't gone the way we thought they were going to go. But the next matchup is going to be a big one because it doesn't just determine who is going to win it overall, because there's two competing power blocks at the moment, the East and the West. We've got the Swedes and the French, the Swish power group, and we've got the Lurpak as well, fighting it out. And the Lurpak won in the last game, who set up this match. Buddy, how are you?
I'm quite fine, thank you.
Vexed, you've had a crazy day so far. Talk me through playing against that team over there, against Dignitas.
It's gonna be a really hard match, I hope so.
Because how many lives have you got left?
Last.
When you're down to your final life, when you are playing to stay in the competition, how does that change how you play as a team?
I think it doesn't change anything. We're gonna play this match like normal and like we have 4 lives.
Now, I don't ever see the veto in the back because it's all done in secret. What map has been chosen?
The Cbble.
And how do you feel about playing Cbble?
We've seen the match Dignitas versus Fnatic, and their Cbble is really very good, but I hope we're gonna make some damage again.
Now listen, they're not listening right now, so do you have any special plans you're going to do?
We're gonna rush them.
They're going to rush them. That's what I want to see. Thank you very much. That's Vexed. They, of course, taking on Dignitas, part of the Lurpak, who are over here. I'm going to annoy someone by asking them to take their headset off. 2 seconds, because you're not actually in the game right now. How do you feel about playing against Vexed?
I feel pretty comfortable.
When you saw your friends, Astralis, win that last matchup against NV, you knew that it was your block that was going to be choosing next up. Did you know who you're going to be playing?
Yeah, we knew if Astralis won the game, we would meet Vexed, and we are pretty comfortable playing them. Hopefully we can beat them out, so, or if they have 1 life left, I don't remember, but if...
Yeah, they've got 1 life. If you beat them now, they have to go home.
That would be really nice. So they don't have 4 alliances, so it would be really awesome for us. It will help us, and we can roll after it if we do it.
And just let me into a secret. Say you do win this. Who are we playing next?
I'm not sure, actually.
No, you'll tell me afterwards, eh? Well, there you go. So that's the next match which is being set up. It is Dignitas taking on Vexed. Alex, let's hand back to you.
Thanks very much, OJ. Rabino not spoiling it for us yet. We kind of look towards G2 quite expectantly. I know you were having a chat with Existence just before going, yep. It's probably going to happen, isn't it? But new faces on the desk, boys. Got Henry and Sadikis joining us with Demon in the middle.
Oh, you made it look like I was the new one. I've been here for 3 games now.
Well, I mean, I wanted to just, kind of get Henry as close to me as possible.
Let's face it, Yanko fell out with you. You called out his pot belly, and he's just like, that's it, I'm done.
I kicked him off. I was like, that's enough.
You just said you want Henry close to you. Henry just cheated on me with Moses.
Hey, you casted with him yesterday, so...
Just easy, boys, easy.
Right, I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry, honey.
By the way, I have to say, I love what we're doing here with the kind of red, blue, purple, like combining them. We've got very kind of color coordinated here. I just look a little bit weird on the side.
That's normal.
It's just genuinely why I'm here. That's why they plonked me in this corner. But we have to get a game to discuss, and it's going to be an interesting one. The first thing I want to start with, I actually want to set the scene by saying the map, because it's going to be on Cbble. And to a lot of people, I mean, I saw our admin saying, this surprises me.
I think that's like a logical decision. Yeah. I know Vexed are very strong on this map. Obviously, they played against Dignitas already on Mirage. That was a pretty one-sided affair. It was like 16-7. Yeah. But today, the Cbble is a strong team for Vexed, strong map for Vexed, and obviously Dignitas taking Fnatic right down to the wire. Did lose in overtime. Potentially a game they should have been winning hands down, but they're obviously very confident on that map as well. So this definitely makes sense in terms of the veto process. I do heavily favour Dignitas' chance going forward. Obviously, we have Vexed in their last life. This actual matchup makes a lot of sense. The fact that Astralis have made this one happen is just a sense that they knock another team out, they can retain control of the rotations and kind of boost everyone's prize money. So this kind of that makes complete sense to me.
And but to a layman like myself, I just sit there and go, I just watched Fnatic dig, and it felt like dig were about to smack. Like I thought that Cbble was their game.
And I wouldn't want Dignitas right now to change anything to their opponent. Yeah. I don't want them to get overconfident. We saw Config starting to push against Fnatic. It was working, but eventually Olaf showed up. Well, Vex doesn't have an Olaf, so stick to the formula. Don't push too far, give away unfavorable trades, and hand the game to them when it should be theirs to win 10 times out of 10, in my opinion.
And let's also remember that Vexed are a team that have had that luxury of being able to look over their opponents. There's plenty of evidence of and examples of Dignitas on Cbble. Well, it's become predictable. That's what I was talking to.
The thing of this event, you don't really have the luxury of going back and watching the demo straight away, like the Vita's just done before. Obviously, they watch the game, they would have an idea of the approach, obviously.
No, but what I'm saying is I was talking to JW, and he said the reason we picked Cbble
we knew
was
exactly
because
what they did.
Dignitas' Cbble is very, very much one-dimensional. They know exactly.
That's absolutely correct.
T-side, they knew exactly T-side what they were doing. He was talking about it's like we knew exactly, and I explained the positions from us. Yeah, we knew Rubina was there. We knew he was always lurking. We knew MSL would always go mid, wait and mid.
Yeah, well, their approach on the A side of Cbble is almost the same every single round. They have different variations of it. They go for heavy mid control. They're smoking off, taking vision away from the CTs, pushing into long A, and then at that point, once they have the long A control, they have the options to do the A fake, where they do all the smokes over. They have a little bit of presence coming in, and everyone rotates back to B. Or they do find a pick towards that long A area. They do commit fully to the A bomb side, but it is mainly around the fundamentals of getting that mid control, and then they do have some really nice, different approaches as well. They can just do a straight up B rush, mix it in there, just as the CTs are just starting to adapt. That's when they'll go for a straight up B rush, and they have a really cool wall of smokes tactic as well. So they have plenty to work with there.
And you've led nicely into my next question. You said, you basically said entirety of Dignitas' T side comes around to that mid control, right?
Yeah.
So what's the counterplay? I love this question where it leads quite nicely into it. Do you give them that mid control and then just play very, very kind of passive, or do you have to bring the fight to them?
I like the challenge with the AWP towards middle. Like, in fact, you go for the mid vision at the start of the round, at least can you ascertain whether they're going for that fast B play. Like, the smoke they put down, it's delayed. Like, at least you can spot players towards the top of the middle. You have a very good chance of kind of working out what they're doing in that sense. And you can play an M4 player backing him up inside alley as well. That kind of, I wouldn't say it's a counter, but it definitely gives you information to work with.
I mean, Fnatic won 11-4, didn't they, on the CT side? And all they did was just kept all off at doors.
Yeah.
Just sat there, basically watched it. Crim's just occasionally peeked, caught them off guard, maybe surprised now and again, but generally just fell back. And then obviously Dennis would rotate around, so they knew exactly what was coming every round.
Yeah, and it's hard, of course, not to look past the...
Henry, you have to move to your left. You're blocking the Red Bull. He keeps trying to tell you in
Are
your
these
ear.
not to drink?
They're not to drink.
They're only for commercials.
Don't ruin the product placement, Henry.
Damn.
You can have one if you really want, but I know your body's
I personally love Red Bull. It's actually my favourite drink of all time. So does that help? Does that help boost it? Does that balance it out?
I mean, you prefer gin a lot more,
subtle, nobody noticed.
You almost need to put a big thumb up to the screen, like...
Go buy Red Bull.
Okay,
and just like that, you're getting paid again. Well done.
Yeah,
there is the equilibrium reset between.
But let's talk about Dignitas' B-side defense, because it was solid. They were a brick wall for so long against Fnatic. They were keeping them out there, and that's something that Vex is really going to have a problem with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I don't know how they're going to break it down, because the fact is, it was really down to, they said it themselves, they've tweeted out, and we were talking to JW, it was like literally it came down to them basically going, okay, we don't know what to do, let's just go, like this last round, let's do anything, and they managed to just randomly break through, and suddenly Olaf wakes up and is like, hi guys, I'm going to start landing shots again.
And the one round that Fnatic lost was the round where they tried to do some strategy again, which is quite kind of mind-blowing to me that they can just go, right, okay, the only thing that's working is not having strategy. I guess that's kind of hard for Dignitas to read.
That's kind of their general approach to Cbble in a sense anyway. They don't really rely on the full executions. A lot of the team, they don't do a full wall of smokes. They're actually more than happy to wait for the CTs to chuck everything they have at the start of the round, and then you've got players like Olaf and players like JW and Flush that can take over towards that drop-down area. It's just gaining control first. Once you get the drop-down area, that's their main objective, and then they'll go into that upper ramp and send Olaf off the leash, in a sense.
Yeah, that's the thing with Cbble as well. When you have that much skill in individual players and you can play that quickly and be favorable in almost every duel you're encountered in the game, the B site, we've already talked about this a few times this weekend, it's so spread out between the two entries, and it's such a vast space that if you get one pick, the defense are instantly scrambling, and you better hope the third guy's already rotated from A, or you're going to be on the back foot instantly. So with a team like Fnatic with that much skill, we should boss them.
Talk about Cbble, I guess. He's the man on Cobblestone. I think every time we've seen him on Cobblestone so far, he's had over 30 kills. He is the king dingaling for Dignitas right now. He's had an amazing tournament.
He's had an amazing...
and again, will be the main guy to watch.
He's had an amazing 2016.
Yeah.
In 2015, a lot of people were talking about can he live up to his online potential. He's supposed to be one of the upcoming stars. We want to see him perform like that in LAN. Leipzig was the breakout tournament for him. We saw him really perform on that high level here, and he's just continuing that form. He's getting better and better every event. It's really exciting. He's definitely instrumental as to the success so far. And it's been a good tournament for them so far. Unfortunately, they didn't manage to close things out versus Fnatic. I think that's just goes to show. We talk about this being a very young lineup, and kind of maybe getting a little bit rattled towards the end. They weren't really sure how they could end it. They even did everything right. They took the pause. They worked out what they needed to do. Unfortunately, though, when Fnatic get in that mode and they feel like, you know what, you're not actually going to beat
this. It's all off up close with the AWP. I mean, it starts landing them sort of shots. It was all those little things.
Yeah, and we are going to be heading to your casters very... Oh, no, we're not. Okay, so I was told to do so instead, though. we're going to be looking. Oh, my
Get wrecked. Why do we not have a camera over here?
Oh, and I'll tell you what. I wish there was a cameraman up here.
Oh, can we get a cameraman to run over
Where
here
is he?
really quickly?
Okay.
Production.
So
We
guys,
can
actually
do that
fully
after.
wrecking him right now?
We're going to whisper because
Let's do predictions first.
Wait, don't wait, YNK, whatever you do.
Yanko's asleep right now, and I'm going to take a picture of it.
Okay.
Look, he wanted a break. He needed a break.
He actually said, I need to take a break because I'm going to fall asleep. Wait, okay, I need to throw to the casters, but first I'm just taking a picture of Yanko.
No predictions?
Yeah, predictions. Go.
Dignitas.
Dignitas.
Thanks, guys. Casters, take it away. Let me just take this picture. Moses and Lauren.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, we were a little distracted because we have found the sleeping Yanko. Do check, I assume, your Twitter and Alex's to...
Oh, the Wi-Fi is struggling a little bit, so the picture might not be up immediately, but it's going to get out there.
It'll get there. But he is, like, flat out gone. He, like, made a bed out of chairs. It's absolutely amazing. But coming back to the game, this could be the last we're going to see. I don't want to come back to the game.
It's just an entire...
He's just woken up and it's great. Oh.
They've ruined it. Anyways,
Sorry, guys.
back to the game.
Back to the game. Let's talk about Vexed. This could be their last life here.
Yeah,
very likely
it is
will
their
be.
last life.
Thoughts coming into this one from you then, because obviously this is Dignitas' home. They played this 2 out of the 3 times they've actually had a match throughout this entire tournament, which is great for their map pool, I guess. They're pretty very pleased with that. Then again, Fnatic obviously in the mix there for themselves. But Vex, what can we expect from these guys?
Well, let's just comment really quickly. Their map veto process all day has been poor. I mean, even going into that G2 match this morning on Overpass, they even said, we're not good on this map. We don't like this map. So now they're facing where they might feel okay on their Cbble, but against Dignitas, who the things they've shown on it is just kind of like, it makes me just feel like another bad veto process for them. But it's going to come down. The big thing is neutralizing.
Nitrolating. That sounds far more...
that's a Nitro plug, North America, baby. But neutralizing KRB. I mean, he's just been a stud lately. That's what we have to say. And even in the past in high-pressure situations, we've seen him kind of fade away. But today against Fnatic, I mean, high-pressure situation, and he was a boss for the majority of that match. So Dignitas is going to feel supremely confident. They're going to feel very, very comfortable. Every play they make, there's going to be confidence in it. So that's the thing. Vex has to kick them off that level early on. They kind of got to get in their face really quickly in this matchup.
Yeah, barring that one win that Vex had, which was against Existence, they haven't broken to double digits against any of their other opponents. So they've had some glimpses of like, okay, they're actually on that bad. Okay, they've got some really good plays like here or there, or like one player will have a good round. It's just, I want to see more from them because they have a lot more to bring. And again, my eyes go straight to Hyper. I want to see him actually finding himself in this matchup. I'm sure Ryland's going to do fine. He was doing pretty well, actually, before with the AWP on this specific map. So I'm hoping we get to see a little bit of that. But then again, they're fighting for survival now, so there's certainly a little bit more on the line for them in this one. If they lose this, they are done and dusted, and they are out.
Well, sometimes that's not such a bad thing, being on your last, your last life for this tournament. But sometimes it's like back against the wall in like the best of 3 or something, where even on maps you don't feel that comfortable on, where like you have nothing to lose. You can just you're not expected to win. You can just play a little bit looser. We've seen a lot of teams have success when it's almost like that pressure is taken away from them. So, it was a little weird when OJ asked him, what does being on your last life do for how you guys are going to play this? A lot of times, I mean, the answer is, we got nothing to lose. So we're just going to play confident. We're going to play aggressive. We're going to take our battles. Going to, unloosen the individual players a little bit.
Oh, what's Fnatic in overtimes? And
that's incredible. That's just, like,
when
to be able...
you said that, I was like, that's...
To have that level of comfort. And for anyone who doesn't know what we're referencing, Flusha tweeted out, JW's talked to them here at the event, just saying, that comeback that they had on Cbble against Dignitas, where they were down like 14-10 or 14-9 or something like that, 15-10. No calls were made. It was just everyone go do what you want, what you feel comfortable doing, where you think you're going to get a kill, and it works out for them. Not many teams can get away with that one.
No, it does take a very specific type of player. And the weird thing is, normally you'd have one player who could maybe fit that role. You'd look at Olaf, who did get kind of let off that leash very specifically on their T side once they got to those sort of pressure moments. But when the whole team can kind of reciprocate that, that's terrifying, because any team that's coming up against, okay, they've been doing this the whole time, all right, we've adapted a little bit here. You can't adapt to a team that you can't read, so they become almost impossible to handle. But it does seem as though the game's almost ready to get underway, guys. We won't be keeping you waiting too much longer, and it's all on Vex now. Pretty much, Dignitas have a chance to knock a team out, though. And let's see if they're going to do the final killing blow here.
Yeah, and could keep control for the Danish Alliance here in this event as it winds down. As if Vexed falls here, it's all the top teams that we brought to the event. So very quickly, Vex Gaming, all 5 members over towards this B site. Quickly down drop as well. 3 members, including the bomb.
This is going to be massive. A very quick hit going towards B at the end, and Config's not actually been challenged yet. He's getting in a bit of an awkward position, though. If they spot him out early, he's going to be completely removed. But Cbble, last time in this spot, did pick up that beautiful 3K, but there we go. Furlan's wants to get it open. Config does actually manage to have the time to reload and take on Hyper, and Grubby
Savage.
just going in on MSL. All right, 1v2 Grubby, what have you got?
Yeah, the shank, that's going to help him out a lot. Well, just in terms of money. He's still got to go get the bomb. Config is very, very low, so there's the bomb pickup. He's got a minute to work with, and it looks like he wants to bail out back towards the A bomb site, but he's trying to get one more kill, and there it is. Config's the one that makes contact. He was very low in red HP, falls for free, so down to a one-on-one now. Big chance for Grubby here.
Tensky as well, the man who was put with the hard task of having to clutch twice in those imperative rounds against Fnatic and could deliver, and neither may be haunting him, especially on this map, as Ruby just going to be waiting out, and actually Tensky shows himself, and now Ruby has the bomb. He's got 40 seconds, plenty of time to play with. He's going to head over towards A.
I like that play out of him. With a minute left, just chill. Just sit, see, you know they're going to be searching for information. You have the bomb. Find out where your opponent is before you commit to anything. He gets the intel, even takes a shot, and now he has plenty of time to position wherever he wants.
Yeah, so Ruby going to be just holding the cross at this point. Tensky, he might check it, but to what degree? Actually, is he going to go down a little bit lower? He's going to go right into the crosshairs of Ruby, and this should be a pickup, but no! Tensky just turns it around, picks it up, and a lovely connection from him when it actually really does matter.
Very, very curious. I guess maybe he thought that he didn't have as much time as he actually did. But that position that where he is, you're boxed in. If you don't get that kill, there's nowhere for you to really fall back to. There's no cover. If he's able to go, over towards those A-halls, over towards that fence, then you can adjust and you can play the post plan a little bit better. But they're committed to the fight, can't land the kill. 1-0 for Dignitas, and that was a great opportunity for Vex. We said they had to come out hot, but they're going to buy right back up into this round. AK-47 because of the knife. Because he got the knife, he's able to pick up an AK-47 as well as a smoke and a Molotov. UMP on Furlan, and then Tech 9s across the board for everyone else.
Repo's going to be looking out, see if there's any early aggression. None can be found this early on from MSL and Tensky, but Rubio's going to get a face full of bullets here. Groovy's going to open it up. That's the rifle coming into play that we were discussing earlier. There was such a big pickup from the back of the knife. The wall of smoke's going to be placed in toward B now. But MSL is there. Tensky a little later on the rotate, ensuring there's no one coming around from behind, and there isn't. It's 4 players heading through towards the side itself, and Config waiting ever so patiently in towards Chicken Coop. No one's pressured him yet, and then allowing Cbble to come in. This is a clean round from Dig so far. Tensky's finally there, and now just Ralin left alive. And he's only got the Tech 9, and MSL will put him down.
Yeah, nobody had eyes on the Chicken Coop whatsoever. It was just, I mean, even Grubby, who was the first death to that spot, was just running along the wall, looking at the smoke, seeing if anyone was going to run through it. So nice patience by Config. 2 kills on the round, but just crucial positioning. They do get a plant, so they're going to get some of that bonus money, but still a little bit crushing considering they had a fantastic opening.
Such a shame as well, as you said. After such a great start of things. Complemented, of course, by that knife. And then even getting the opening kill into that one, but now we will see Dig at least more than likely converting this round, as we are just going to see a Tech 9 coming out so far. I wonder if they're going to go for even anything else. A couple of upgraded pistols for the T side here. Going through a Deagle, a P250 or 2, but absolutely no utility to follow it. No smokes, no flashes, no nades, no nothing. So keeping it relatively down low on the buy-up, and rather than with the bomb over by A.
Yeah, but it looked like they almost wanted to go very quick and get a pop flash. That's Config just jumping up, going for some information, and grabbing an extra parting headshot. But he's going to keep fighting here. Gets more aggressive, and he falls. Even Rubino got himself into a tough spot. That Molotov's going to hold him back a little bit because they did want to pressure that. MSL finds Rowland over at the other side. That's also the bomb. That was in the connector trying to rotate back, but oh, nice shot from Repo.
Well, at least they got something out of this, and Rubino's low, so I guess maybe Furlan could maybe find him, but not going to happen. And again, Dignitas 3 still alive, and a clean 3 rounds to start with. And if I'm honest, I feel as though Vexed, as close as they're getting, they're just not quite there on this one. But this is the important round. This is the buy-up. This is finally when Vex get themselves back into this. They've got the ult very early on to Ryan. He does his armor as well, so not exactly going in glass cannon to this one, but a big investment at this point.
Yeah, that's the advantage they have, right, is Rollin with his AWP, and actually curious, he's going to go up in the tower. This is straight up pub tactics. We're going back years. Camping the tower, seeing if anyone's going to push, just seeing if there's aggression. This just basically tells me that they don't want to go towards the A site. He just wants to be in the safest, most passive spot to watch for the aggression. Gives him a different angle down towards mid that's probably not expected, and eventually he'll fall back to group up with his teammates.
Weirdly enough, he was doing this in the round prior. He did have the bomb, which was a little bit questionable, but he was sat kind of waiting to see if they do rotate, see if they pushed out, and it was, I believe, MSL who was there with Tensky who did come across. So maybe just a little bit of pre-planning, maybe he just wants to get an opportunity into this one, but by now the time is starting to dwindle. So down to about a minute, Config already up on that platform as well. This is going to be a tough one to break through for Vexed. And well, still with a couple of pieces left in the arsenal, a good few smokes there that can be put down, maybe they could work their way through, and finally, Dignitas do start falling back here.
Yeah, and actually, Repo and Rollin are going to get a little bit more aggressive over towards the A site. That AWP still hasn't had any effect yet. Working its way into A Hall's basically all alone, so he's just trying to see if there's going to be any kind of mounted defense, any stack. He's clearing it out. Meanwhile, over at the B-bomb site, one's already done. Is that drop?
Yeah. Hyper's down, and Cbble I don't think seen this one, so Hyper's in a bit of a position that maybe they don't expect, so they can kind of check that one off. But if these guys on the Vex side do go once again towards B and they do not check Chicken Coop, they don't check the back of the site, they're going to be called out again by Config Rubinho. So now, Hyper needs to be cautious. He's trying to lock down one angle. He does that perfectly. Cbble falls. Now, position noted. Where's the rest going to be coming from? Hyper needs to play this role perfectly, and he's doing pretty well. He's baiting out, swings out to take down one, and this is brilliant stuff from Hyper. That's the man I wanted to see finally coming through. MSL down, and now it's Tensky. They know where he's at, and he's not going to be anywhere near that B site.
Yeah, I didn't see how he was able to get down drop for free, basically, but no eyes on him whatsoever. And once he gets that first kill, Tensky's going to get a couple parting gifts there, so nicely done too for him. But once he falls down there, Rubino's in such a tough spot behind the statue. He's got two different angles that he's got to worry about, and Hyper, just by waiting, just by giving it 2 seconds before re-peeking, knows Rubino's attention is he's got to gamble. So he finds himself another free kill. He basically wins that round for Vexed all on his own. Tensky's still getting hunted out. He does get a dink down onto Grubby, but he's going to fall. So that's the first round on the board for Vexed. And actually, it puts the economy situation on Dignitas in a pretty tough spot. Tensky's got 8,600, so he's going to be able to drop one over, but I mean, you could see Scout on Config, the shotgun on MSL. Their money was not built up very well.
No, really wasn't. So, all right, they're going back into this one. See that they can do work with that Scout. We have seen it certainly been put to some decent practice, but Rylan again going to go for the opening plays here to see if he can find anyone trying to get a little bit more presence towards mid, but I highly doubt they're going to go for it. Config, though, is going to be jumping up as well, trying to see if anyone's pushing through, but just caught in the clip of the edge. But, brilliant stuff from Config there, just catching out Hyper. And just going to be spamming through. He's got all the time in the world in a good little spot here to use that, and Cbble waiting to see if he's going to get any sort of action coming through. This time, far more active towards drop, but again, this is going to be a tough one for Dig to hold as their utility is relatively limited.
Yeah, Config's taking a little bit of damage now after that nice trick shot that he shows off. So he's going to fall back.
Alex excited.
KRB's still in drop. This time, he's going to fall out of it. A lot of pressure is being put on it. Molotov's thrown out. Rubino's smoked off on the other side, so that's why the passive play from KRB comes out. His support isn't there to help him. Grubby does get down, but he hasn't chosen which way to go. Going to wait for the smoke to clear. All the meanwhile, his teammates are just walking out long B, and there's the Scout again. Config punishing Rollin.
This guy can't seem to miss, to be fair, but there we go. Finally, Ferlin has a bit of a chime back into this one, taking down 2 away from the site, bringing in options now for those 2 remaining players on the Vex side. So, go there with Ferlin. Orp in the hand, he's going to play in the covering game, and he's doing it wonderfully. That's a good pickup towards Tensky. Now MSL and Rubinho left. Now they've got to realize that MSL has been playing over on the other side. There's a chance for the long rotate, and there it is. That's Ferlin on 4. Can he make it 5, though? Rubinho edging in so carefully here. He's managed to negate being spotted so far, but now he has to show himself. He gets down the first. It's down to a 1v1, and Ferlin has very little HP here. Rubinho going to take the fight, and he gets it, but timing is everything, but he does have a kit, and he should get that defuse.
Yeah, that's a heroic effort by Ferlin there to get those 4 kills and give him a shot at winning in that 2-on-2. But Config, with those opening 2 kills, I mean, just thinned out that attack. Those are really sick shots, that jumping shot. Eventually does get punished. But still, the money's not that built up. They salvaged the AWP, but because he got 4 kills, I mean, they're able to keep the money low. They're not going to buy into this round. Actually, yes, they are late. So an AK-47 comes out. But that's going to be it, really. There is an upgraded Tech 9 and armor on Repo, but just that slight investment, see if maybe they can find some miracle way to get some solid entries and get into the bomb site quick, or just continue to weaken that economy over the course of this half.
Yeah, and he's still on 1.8k, so he's not even the lowest out of the side, so he would be perfectly fine, just equating out the money there. But Vex seemingly having no problem necessarily making it out to the B site. It's playing towards actually keeping hold of it once the bomb's down, so hopefully they can kind of maybe have a consideration as to what's going on to that one. But Tensi's going to be making a bit of a contact play down towards long, and there's that rifle finally coming through. Furlan's going to make the impression be noted, but Cbble holding back just a touch, gets the double, denies the push-up, and Vex lose any presence towards long. The bomb goes down, and suddenly they're down to just these two players who only have those pistols.
Yeah, no reason for that kind of speed. I'm not quite sure what they saw. Over a minute left, and they were running with their knife out, so a couple easy ones for Kirby, and now he just even dinks the last one. Config's going to steal it from him, but that's a round that Dignitas needed. 4 members survived, so they build up the money. And now, I mean, that wasn't very much of an investment from Vex, so they are going to just buy into this round with all the AK-47s. This is what comes out. They have plenty of utility as well. They've got 4 smokes to work with, decent amount of flashes. So they have a lot of things available to them in that playbook. The big issue is now MSL has that AWP. So they're going to be going up to one, and they don't have one of their own.
And we know that MSL loves that little bit of aggression once he gets confident, especially against teams of maybe a lesser stature, and it's worked out well previously. He has been caught off by it, but then again, it is the risk you run and the risk-reward factor comes into play. But he's still holding long. Tensi has been getting a lot of pressure put towards him very early on here. The molly going to go down, and they have lost some control, forced back towards the side. Kiebi's already starting to head over, so 3 players now here. MSL a little out on his own, but he's certainly capable of holding these sort of angles, and he has with a glimpse of one, but Furlan just domes him down, and there we go, Vex with the opener.
Yeah, that was a sick shot from Furlan. Opens things up, and this denies a lot of map control. Now, they did cheat a 3rd player over towards that A bomb site, so Dignitas, they still have 2 members at B, but Config's essentially all alone because his other teammate is watching drop. That's going to be Rubino, and Config just gets aggressive all by himself, pop flashes himself, he jumps up, he's going to go for a second one, even his teammate chiming in with one. But everyone from Vex is falling back. Now it's going to be Rubino who's going to get challenged.
Rubino's going to deal with this. They've been putting so much pressure towards this drop room. Previously, we saw, if I'm not mistaken, he was Hyper really abusing it, then Grubby, but now look at them again pouring through. But in the back ones, you've got to be careful. There's Rubino keeping eyes on it, but will they expect Kiebi to still be here? He was the one who rotated over. Now Tensky can instantly look towards the balcony, but there we go, trading out effectively-ish. And you look at Grubby, he's down to 1 HP. Not exactly what you want to be seeing here is now it's just down to Ralan, and Ralan's going to really step up. He's not had a kill so far in this one. What a chance to maybe get himself going at the moment. It's Config to take the first fight, and actually Ralan's going to find it, but the molly comes in, and Kiebi's going to secure it. And again, dig on the retake, and Vex get pushed to the side.
Yeah, that whole time, Kirby was the insurance policy. He was aggressive in those A halls, and there was nobody there. There's no manpower to clear him out. So once that A hit, once they discover that that's the end goal, he has a perfect position to really just isolate that planter inside the bomb site. There was nowhere for him to go afterwards, so the molly just burns him alive. 6-1 now. With that plant, they do get $800, but they don't have the money to buy into this round, so it's going to be Tech 9s again. Maybe some half armor, maybe a half investment of like $15 to $1,800, because they are going to start building up that losing bonus on top of it. They've got 3 rounds into it so far. But next round, it starts getting to that point where Vex has got to start putting rounds on the board. They've got to start stringing them together, and they eventually have to break this economy of Dignitas.
Well, if they want a shot at this, they certainly do, but at the moment it's a bit of a lackluster performance. But then again, as is MSL's attempts at finding, I think that's Furlan up there. Going to go, no? Go on, MSL, I believe in you.
Well, Furlan just takes his teammate out. So
MSL is still whipping these up, and that's, as you said, a chance for Furlan to actually get the kill there. Tensi go down, and now look at the rest of Vexed. All the times you're like, okay, well, you've suddenly made this a little bit more interesting. 1 minute left on the board.
Yeah, MSL's like, oh, sorry, buddy. A lot of missed shots there. He was actually very, very aggressively, I thought, and they could have been pushed from lower through those doors of the pop flash, but it didn't come from Vex. Furlan's able to just get the kill anyways. Meanwhile, all of them were positioned for some kind of B hit. They didn't even seem like they really wanted to mess with the A-bomb, but once again, with that pick, the defense is split up, so Dignitas is going to be under a lot of pressure here.
But this time it's Config and drop, not Rubino. Rubino's going to be out on the B site, and this is just a little bit of a difference, a little bit of a switch-up. Can change everything, and it certainly has. Config gets one, but loses track of the second. Now Rubino, though, at the back of the site, still going to be a linchpin, still buying the time. Kievi's on the long rotate, but there comes MSL into the mix as well. He heads straight over, and again, Vex just get mowed down.
Yeah, but 2 more kills, and still, the money isn't very solid, so they have to drop those weapons over. So it's still depleting the economy just a little bit. Dignitas still haven't been able to stabilize that. So Vex has a great opportunity. Any of these rounds, if they win them, it's going to be punishing. This one a little bit less because Rubino's got about 5,600, so he can drop 2 guns in the next. But I mean, they've had this economy low for so long, and they just can't break it. That's kind of the key to this half so far for Vex. They have to find a way to put a round together and force Dignitas onto a save.
Now, trying to see exactly where these opening smokes are going to. They are putting one down at the very start of this round, but it's Config just greeting the edge of that smoke. Oh, he switches up! Config goes absolutely huge. And again, Vexed. If you change it once, if you make that one round count, Dignitas could have been broken.
Yeah,
and again,
anymore.
Config has absolutely none of it.
Yeah, no chill on Config. They didn't even make it out of the smoke that time.
Nope.
A little bit blind from teammates' pop flashes. That was really nice work for Dignitas once they heard the rush coming. The initial 2 kills slow him down. Pop flash blinds the other 3, and he can swap out an AK. Plenty of time to get the ace. That's really well done from Config.
It just looked like he was against an eco at that point, but they were fully bought
Fully
up
bought.
with everything they had. So,
And the punishing part about that also is all 5 members survive for Dignitas.
yeah, and look at the money in comparison to what it was. 7k onto Config, 8k on Rubinho. They're starting to look pretty damn solid here. Vex did have a quick pause, maybe just to, I don't know what you can do at this
That
point.
was a very quick pause.
Yeah, that's really not using all of it. I assume it was a tactical pause. I haven't seen anything else, so kind of curious as to what that is, but still. All right, maybe just a quick chat, maybe just wanted to calm down, maybe just want to take that bit of confidence away from Dignitas, even though they're 8-1 up. I don't know how much more confident you can get. There we go, back into the fire again for Vex. Gonna have to try and switch something up, maybe try and find a bit of a different start to this, because so far it's not been good, but look at it. Instantly gonna try and find the challenge here towards A, try and maybe punish MSL, who's been called out a couple of times, but not this time. Trading out eventually towards that side of things as MSL will go down, but look at this. By the time that happens, Cbble is already there and keeping back what the Vex side has.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage, misses that kill onto Rollin, but that teamwork between MSL and Tensky gets him 2 kills, and it delays it long enough for KRB to rotate over and stop Vex from pushing forward any longer. So good damage dealt. This is going to force Rollin to be very, very passive. He's lurking up towards A halls, but he's a little bit scared to go through that smoke. One bullet, one of anything, and he's going to be ended. So they do leave one member. That's Rubino at this A bomb site. KRB and Config are going to rotate over towards drop. And they're going to work together to prevent any attack down now. Actually, look at the reverse boost coming out. Is he going to go all the way up? Doesn't. Oh, yes, he is right at the end. And they are going to come right at him. He sees the foot, gets that kill. Now he can just fall away. Huge advantage now for Dignitas.
And pretty ballsy play to be trying to find information when you're left in a 3v3 at that point. If they lost out on it, could have had massive knock-on effects, but they win it now. Hyper having to try and anything he can. It's Rollin to actually come up with it, as does Hyper. So suddenly we're into a 2v1 in favor to Vexed, and Config's on the wrong side, but he's on the chase now, pretty much up close and personal though is Rollin watching this cross. He's going to see him, he's got to spot him crossing then, so Config's position is known. But where can they set themselves up to defend this?
Yeah, Rollin didn't want to take the shot in the possibility that he misses it with that low HP, so Config now, he has no clue that he's got one of those left right where he came from. That's the last place he's going to expect, and there's the distraction. Rollin's able to sneak out of the smoke. That's the second round for Vex finally. After a 5-round streak from Dignitas, they get stopped, but plenty of money has been built up in this, so they're going to be able to buy again. It's all on Vex to be able to string a couple together.
Really, it seems like such an impossible task at the moment, but then again, if they were able to work that round out, they can maybe replicate that down the line, but it does seem like so difficult. But then again, a little bit of aggression that did manage to catch off, or at least trade out with MSL and Tensky there. Maybe they're going to go back to this, as it does seem as though they are making their way down towards the A site. No one really making an aggressive play just yet. MSL holding on the other side of that smoke, seeing what these guys are bringing through. And no orbs coming out for a little while here. MSL just down towards the rifle as well. And of course Vex just about scraping money together as they have been trailing back into these rounds. But a slow start coming out from Vex this time.
Very slow. This time they don't challenge for the map control over towards A connector. They're going to slowly work their way into halls. They know this is usually a two-man setup from Dignitas to guard this out. And actually, the utility on the Dignitas side is running out. Grubby is going to find that spam kill finally on MSL. Put a lot of bullets into that over the first 30, 40 seconds of this round. But that man advantage is going to allow them to reconvene. They do pick up the bomb that's right in the middle, and that's going to head over towards the A site, where you can see the rotation from Dignitas is also underway. KRB comes over to balance out Tensky.
Yeah, but look how much weight Dignitas is putting towards keeping that rotate pretty much under wraps, or at least the lurk there. Hyper gets removed from drop, so now they can all pretty much focus in on what might be coming towards A, as I'm sure Tensky is hearing these footsteps creeping and crawling closer, as he does have Cbble on the side, Rubinho behind him. And Config just in the back lines here. T-side does need to make their move soon and has traded out Furlan's found Rubinho, but Tensky now left out on an island pretty much, but it doesn't matter. Cbble was there holding him close, but now Config, this is the last man standing up against Rollin. As the kills come backward and forward, but Rollin sitting on only 34 HP. And Config's position not as noted as maybe Rollin would want. Config going to try and make his way forward, but Rollin's holding this angle. Config doesn't expect it, and Config gets caught out. There we go, Rollin, getting himself back into this one.
Yeah, worried that Config maybe was going to try and wrap around the bomb site. Doesn't clear that at all. So an easy one-on-one win. Pretty casual for Rollin there. So 3-8 now. One more round and the economy is broken. It's back onto that danger spot. You know, everyone's at basically $0. They even have a scout on the board back into Config's hands. 5-7 on KRB. CZ and MSL's hands. So the money just detrimentally low. Look at the scoreline of Config. 17-8.
It's ridiculous. You add in the ace to that, the scout kills he got. He's if you got any bonus for style points, he'd be doing pretty fine as well. But he's going to be going back to this spot, and you can imagine the Vex would just be. Once they hear that scout go off, you could not be pleased with that. He's just going to be watching the edge of the smoke, see if someone does start heading through, but no one fancying it just yet.
Yeah, they're going to be aggressive down drop, though. Doesn't look like they've fallen. Rubino's right behind the smoke. Vex waiting for anyone to peek, but it's Config again with the scout. Finds that kill onto Rollin. Another headshot as well. And Rubino's just kind of isolated right now. Can't be too aggressive. There's the kill. There's the response there. Tensky does fall over towards the A bomb site. Nice aggression from Furlan. Doubled up, and they do find that kill, and now pop flash out towards drop. That's going to force Rubino back. So good map control gained by Vex until, of course, Config with the scout.
Why are we watching anyone but Config? I think is the next big question, because this guy goes up again for the predictable follow-up jump shot, but it's Furlan watching him trying to cross out of there. Now down to the rest of the Dignitas players, going to have to watch the push towards the site, and it's an easy lineup then for Rubino, just not going to have to adjust too much as the last two players. His positions have been found. Everyone from Dig can now just stare these guys down. Furlan trying to find maybe an angle into this, going to go with a little bit of the boost up above, and no one to actually tell a lie. I think maybe Rubino's starting to consider that, and MSL's going to be caught out by it. The spray comes out, but it's traded in by Kiebi pushing up. And again, Dignitas hold on to this.
Yeah, nice by Dignitas. They get aggressive, all three members together, two working together towards Rop. KRB just coming up that speedway out towards the side of that boost. So good idea from Vex, but they do eventually get shut down, and they haven't had very many convincing wins. That last round came down to a one-on-one, so they're back onto a save. Dignitas on 9. And once again, it's Config who's the star of that round, who really bails him out.
Config is just enjoying hammering these nails into that Vex coffin. Like, guys, it's going to be real fun playing you, but you might be going home pretty soon, thanks to my work. And, well, Vex going to have to once again run the gauntlet. It's going to be MSL once again, and Tensky to probably have to deal with this, but only a P250 there with Groovy is not too much else, and Tensky's going to enjoy this one. It's an absolute mowdown. And there we go. 4 kills back-to-back. A comfy pickup and no damage really dealt so far. Yeah,
just down to Groovy. So a lot of money built up again by Dignitas. No losses quite yet, and it looks like they're more than likely. Tetsky's fully aware that Grubby's over here, so should be a pretty easy cleanup. But now Vex, this is the thing. Vex is running these rounds so late. They're doing a good job of getting map control early on of whether it's towards A. They can at least trade those kills out when they have the weapons. Towards drop, they force the defense back. But they're waiting so long into these rounds that they're running out of utility. That last round when they went towards B at the end, they had no smokes or flashes. So, I mean, they've got to make sure they have the utility to use to cross into the bomb site to get these things planted.
Well, they've got a hell of a lot of utility coming into this one, so hopefully they do place it into the right times. It's not just how they use it, is when, as you highlight. So, for their sakes, let's hope they have something. Otherwise, players like Config do start having an absolute whale of a time at this. And I see a lot of players heading towards that B side, but I wonder if they're going to splinter off here on the T side, or will they go for a very quick presence? I'm wondering if it's going to be once again Hyper and Groovy looking towards drop. No, Hyper taking his time at the back. Config again, though, getting up towards platform so early on. And he's got a friend here, Rubino now down, but look at this play coming out from the T side. Straight through drop, want to exploit it as much as they can, knowing last time Rubino wasn't playing it that close. He was playing outside. They've actually snuck through, but now Tensky and MSL have got to be knowing what's coming their way.
Yeah, they do. At least Tensky is turning around to spot it. MSL's got to be a little bit wary that it's not a pinch. I mean, this is all 5 members down drop towards the A site. Nice shot from Tensky. Gets the first one. But the rest of the Vex members are made their way into the bomb site. This is going to be a plant pretty soon here.
It's not bad, to be fair. They have 4 alive. A little bit to work with. Tell a lie. Okay, they're down to a 3v4 now. And here comes the challenge. Nice work from Reaper, and then just has the angle on towards Tensky. Maybe a little bit needless to go for the challenge alone rather than waiting on the rest of his players to come around, but 3v3, 1 molly, 1 flash. Groovy's going to keep that to hand. Bomb is down, Hyper on the site. Rubino working his way back in, Kiebi with him, trying to just sweep through this site as they go, find out where they are, but it's going to be hard to remove players like Groovy and Red. Poe and Config just finds one, Rubino finds the other, and suddenly it's just Groovy. How did they let this slip? And Rubino was looking at the smoke, knowing exactly where they were set up, and they take the fights and they just win them.
Yeah, that's incredible that Vex let that slip back out of their favor. The way they're able to get those 2 kills, one towards the A halls, one towards that A ramp. What that essentially did, that retake from Dignitas in that 5-on-3 was going to be 3-pronged. There were 3 different angles that Vex had to worry about. Getting those 2 kills, allowed them to not have to worry about that kind of a flank coming in. And then just to kind of collapse like that, it's just really, nicely done from Dignitas. Hit some great shots in the retake. It's not all up to mistakes on Vex. It's Dignitas taking advantage of it in a really, really harsh way. And now look at their buy. They know they need this last round. No reason to save any money. UMP on Rowland, and actually Groupie finds that first kill on a config.
I think Config's been the first to fall in a long time, but Rubino's just going to go to the same place. But the double flash just catches him out. The second one gave them a chance, but Furlan completely whiffs it. They've finally taken down, but by this point, Cbbe's eyes are completely trained on this push out. And Vexed hit the brakes. They have 1 smoke, 2 flashes, and a little bit to work with here. Finally going to put one of them down. 1 flash comes out, doesn't catch Cbbe at all. The T-side looking for opportunities, and they're not going to find it at this rate.
Yeah, Cbbe's doing a really good job of trying to find these one-on-ones, being very, very patient behind Statue. And there's Tensky. Comes in on the rotation, supports him perfectly. The bomb falls just down to Hyper, and Cbbe's going to clean that one up. So Cbbe was essentially in the 1-on-2 for a while there, but the Vex members don't peek together, so one's able to fall with no response, and no pressure is put on him in the site to force him out of that spot. So he's able to man that down really, really well. 12-3 is the first half, and now Vex, an even bigger uphill battle to climb here.
And this is the thing, Vexed is, for Vex, their T-side was the thing that I probably thought was the better side for them. I thought when we got to watch them previous to now, they looked a little bit better on the T-side when they could have made the differences. But going on to the CT, I feel as though they might just be kind of run rampage by the Dignitas boys. We're going to find out any second now. The teams are ready. We're jumping back into the second half, but 12-3. This isn't the way you want to go out of a tournament.
No, not at all. But you got to imagine that, once again, we talked about the poor map veto, knowing how good Dignitas is on this map. This was
I don't know how you end up here.
A very big possibility. Rollins going to have some pressure put under him very, very quickly. He falls down danger stairs. But MSL's on the chase because he's got a teammate coming through the double doors as well. Stalls him long enough for MSL to get that kill. The full rotation has gotten here for Vexed. Here's a pop flash, although the CT pushes right into it, so it blinds everyone because they've got to take that battle.
But look at Rubino as well. He's right behind them. He's going to find Groovy on the rotate. The one man who can change it is Furlan. He pushed up through platform, and he does get the kill. That's the bomb down. Now, Rubino was in a great place, but now he basically feels surrounded, but he's fighting himself out of it one by one. 2 already. Hyper to the left is on 13 HP. That's not a great deal at this point. Furlan behind as well. 1 minute left. Rubino's got time on this.
Yeah, but he knows this is a one-on-one because he knows Furlan's watching the bomb. So he takes that very aggressively. Now with a minute left, this is such a weird spot. There's so many angles to clear out in this room where the bomb has fallen. So Rubino's got to make a good choice, but he does have 50 seconds to play with, so he has some time to work with once he eventually gets here from the B bomb site. It's going to be on Furlan, who now has no clue where Rubino is. Rubino at least has a general idea of where Furlan's at.
But time is going to be a big factor in this one. As Rubino trying to clear out CP, is just waiting to hear the steps go past, but he's just flying into this. He's not being all subtle about it either. He's going to go for this one on Furlan. There's only so many options waiting, and Rubino gets it! That's 4 kills. How the hell did Furlan let him pick that up? Hell, give him the bomb there and run away for a second, then play retake if you have to, but
that's just nice shots from Rubino. This is a 1-on-3. Very well done there. Hyper missed a little bit of an opportunity earlier before this kill comes out. But you could see Rubino, the tough part for Furlan is Rubino making all that noise. He knows exactly where he is, but he's he's making the noise, jumping around corners, and then looking at the other corner that he hadn't checked yet, waiting for that peek. So he eventually does find Furlan and just wins the battle. Calm and collected.
Yeah, Vex going for the A stack, and it looks like it is going to be a B hit. Sometimes you got to gamble, and sometimes it goes wrong. Config, calm down. Getting a little bit ahead of himself. And this should be a plant, and pretty much everyone should stay alive. Roland already going to go on the flank here as MSL and Config, just being used as the scouts in this one, just to go ahead, get as much as they can done with these SMGs, and they get a lot done.
That P90, no need to stop. Just down to Roland. Now, Vex did not invest into this round. They didn't pick up armor, they didn't upgrade too many pistols, because they know this is a huge mountain to climb. They need to have the best arsenal possible to get around early on here in the CT half. Probably next round, this is more likely going to be a 3rd round bye. And they need to have everything they can moving forward to have as decisive a win this round as possible, so they can have the economy to at least build up some bank, to at least force an eco eventually onto Team Dignitas, and then be able to recuperate any losses they suffered during all that.
Yeah. This is the play they've got to come up with. Is looking at Dignitas here, still got the P90 on Config, still got the Mac 10 there on Tensky. And in this instance, I guess, with this many rounds in their pocket, with that much money building up as well, why not go for it? Why not stick on it? I don't think many people would doubt them on that one. It can be a little bit hard to make stick, especially when you're coming up against rifles, but then again, in the right angles on the CT side, you can find it. And here we go, Roland. Let's see what he can achieve. He gets one with the P90, actually. That's maybe not quite as much as we saw before, but it does set up Repo there to pick up at least something. Pensky not going to be able to find the instant trade-out frag, and the fullback comes in, allowing Groovy to set up a little bit of a crossfire there with Repo. We're down to 2. Actually, a really good round from Vexed.
I would have expected Rubino to get a little bit more aggressive in this position, seeing as how all the pressure on the A bomb site, probably, especially with that kill, probably forced a rotation. So it was a one-on-one he had an opportunity to find, and there he spots the head of Hyper. Hyper didn't realize he was there. But it's a little bit late for this fight now as he's behind the cover of Statue and actually even evacuates with that Molotov out. So Rubino's going to have to fight his way into this site. He gets dinked out, and there's Grubby to finish it off. Tensky had just gotten here to support him, but he's going to fall as well. Nice double kill from Grubby. That's exactly what Vex needed. 4 members survive. Able to upgrade some weaponry, or, I mean, upgrade. Apparently Hyper likes the Galil more than he likes the Famas. But at least now they can start building up some nades behind these weapons, and they can have ways to outlast some of the rounds out of Dignitas. Although Dignitas doesn't look like they want to give up too easily. They do buy some Tech 9s and armor.
Yeah, going back into this, but not too much. You've only got Config, Robinho, and Kiebi on it. MSL actually does eventually buy up armor. And Tensky just going in with the smoke and the 2 flashes with the Tech 9. So Hyper's going to be the one to be tested pretty heavily here if they do actually go for the instant, just push through eventually, but they are very slowly walking up to this. Maybe a 3-2 hit coming out. Tensky and Rubino are going to be working down towards Plat, but we do have Hyper pushed up towards platform 2. Grubby's going to be watching the drop down, and Furlan's backing them up on the side. Repo's there as well, so 2 players per angle. There's a lot here for the CT side, almost a 4-man stack, and Ryland's on the rotate around the backside. He's going to be slowly closing in. He's going to see these guys lining up, and it is go time. Dignitas need to make this stick, and they need to make it stick fast, but the flash comes out. It doesn't really work, but Config hits the shot anyway. There's the breakthrough towards platform. We're down to 2 players, but they are surrounded, and while this happens around the back, there was the flank, but it's Furlan who stops it on the site.
Yeah, triple kill. Crucial kills for Furlan. Now, Hyper this round does pick up that AWP. Some decent damage dealt there onto Vex, so, I mean, there goes some of that bank that they were able to build up, just the small amount that they were. But now that Hyper has this op, this is kind of the big play. Where is that going to go? Where are they going to position the op? Is it going to be used in the B bomb site to just kind of be an anchor, to be a turret essentially? And it does look like that's the case as Hyper's heading over that way. But meanwhile, Dignitas, once again, very quickly aggressive over towards the A site, and Roland gets caught out in the open. He takes a peek over towards A halls. Tensky punishes him very, very swiftly.
You're not going to get away with stuff like that. Even Orpa's getting caught out. I don't think Roland's going to be having a brilliant time at the moment on this one. So much attention instantly put towards it from Dignitas, and now they're just going to be infiltrating themselves throughout this map, slowly taking that control, taking the information excuse me, away from Vexed. Hyper's pretty much, not necessarily soloing B, but he is very much alone here. Grubby's going to be watching drop pretty passively. Furlan and Repo going to be looking to maybe keep some control towards A-Long on the edge of that smoke, but at the moment, Dignitas just hitting the brakes and waiting to see what Vex do back.
Kirby's going to be the aggressive one. That smoke is fading, so he actually, there's a chance there that he could get caught out, and actually the off in perfect position to pick off Rubino. The bomb is there as well, but that stops dead in its tracks. Lets this A hit come into fruition. Although Furlan with the one, they're mounting this defense really well.
Oh god, and MSL's going to get control in drop. Then Tensky can just pile through towards site. If they have anything left to smoke off or do anything towards these crosses, Digger actually in a nice position to make something happen here. Hyper's going to have to hit the shots on the cross towards the site. 30 seconds left. MSL going to readjust, try and support as best he can, getting Tensky to the right place, and he's done just that. They're all funneling through towards drop here. There's going to be one counter boost coming out, and now look at this setup coming out from the CT side. What are they going to do for this retake? They are trying to boost players up, but they're taking their sweet time about it. Are they?
Yeah,
did they actually?
They didn't get it. They still didn't get the boost, so they just evacuate that plan. They're coming right back out, and they're going to run right into the crosshair Tensky. And that's going to be stressful. Furlan does get the kill, down to a one-on-one, but MSL's in such a solid spot that even if Furlan peeks it, he's at a disadvantage. So that boost wastes a lot of time. And probably just mentally, when you can't get it after that time, it's just like, oh no, now we just got to run out and go for it.
That would have put them in a really nice position as well. Like one player kind of pushing around the back, he would have probably been able to at least challenge a player on towards the side. MSL would always have been a threat then because he was pushed pretty close towards the doorway, but regardless, that has got to be so frustrating to not be able to achieve that, you know, when it actually really does matter. So, 15-5, this is Vexed, possibly going out of this tournament now. Going Gonna have to see exactly how Dignitas want to take this one through, and it is with force. Bearing in mind, Rubinho just going to pummel straight through. Hyper gets punished. The 4-man stack towards A is in the wrong place at the very wrong time, and you've got to try and do a retake with a UMP and not much else.
Yeah, that's so deflating, although KRB gets spotted out. Tensky's going to chime in with one on defer land, so they're whittling down this retake, and they're being very aggressive in their positioning, the Terrace are. Not letting them have any avenue back into the bomb site. Even MSL comes in on the flank. Nice call in this round is going to win the match for and eliminate Vexed. Dignitas, they put so much pressure on the A bomb site early on in the rounds. This time they switch it up with a fast B play and catch Vexed doing an A stack. So just a default win basically.
I think we all kind of had that feeling after the map veto process.
Yeah.
You've got Dig, who arguably, maybe when they're pitted against the best, will have a very close game on Cobble. There's room for movement when you see them against Fnatic having very close games. But when teams like Vexed end up against them on here, you've got to ask questions as to what their choices were in regards to that, how they ended up getting themselves into this predicament that allowed that to be open for them. But still, Vexed here managing to pick up, I believe, 1 game throughout the tournament, otherwise not doing too well outside of it. But, putting up a couple of big plays here and there, but hopefully for them they can maybe round that out somewhere else, because at the moment it's Dig who's going to be staying alive.
Yeah, and the big thing for Vexed as well is they're going to be at the major qualifier next week. So, I mean, this was an opportunity for them to check out, what maps they're strong on, what things they need to work on, so that they have a very short amount of time, but at least they have a good direction for the few days they have before traveling out to the States.
Yeah, don't play Cobble too soon, please. We pray that you don't play.
Just work on the map bans, between Overpass this morning and the Cobble.
I'm not sure who actually does it, because I was speaking to Groovy really quickly. He was like, I don't even know what map we're playing. It's someone else does the veto. So, all right, guys, I think it's time to stop talking, at least between us, and let's hear from the man on the stage with OJ.
Yeah, Pansy, stop talking. That was easy, wasn't it?
It was quite comfortable for us. We felt we had the game from the start. We're just really confident versus them, and they couldn't really do anything against us, and we just show who was the best right now.
And it is sometimes fabulous to watch a team playing CS like that. One thing I spoke to you about yesterday was how your teams come together and how well you've clicked as a team, which I think has surprised some of the casters and some of the analysts, how well a team of disparate people are playing together.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Everything worked from the start, basically. Like, we went to the first event for us was DreamHack Leipzig, and we came to semifinals. Then game show, we came to finals, so everything is working for us, but we are giving a lot of hours in practice, trying to fix bad stuff we have done, and just try to improve all the time. And I think that's it basically for us.
Well, it's been great watching you. Vexed, you've just knocked them out, they go home. So let's talk about what the next matchup is. If you're just tuning into this, the people who have the team that's just won the game gets to choose the next matchup. And it's been very interesting the way the politics have worked. You and your Danish compadres, who I just saw on stage, so I think I know who the next teams are going to be. Who's the first team that's going to play the next match?
G2.
And who are they going to play?
Astralis.
Of course they are. I think that was quite an obvious what the next matchup would be. Why is that?
Because they made an alliance. We asked actually G2 if they wanted to be with us. They didn't want to because they were with Envy and Fnatic, and then we need to deliver back.
Never say no to a Norwegian. The last thing I wanted to ask you was, say Astralis win the next matchup, which they might. On paper, they are the stronger team. What's the final match of the day? What will that be?
Probably Envy and Fnatic.
I think that's what we think as well. Thank you very much. Fabulous game. Great to watch you play. So, Alex, over to you. We know what the next matchup is. And what he said as well, we probably know what the last matchup of the day is on top of that.
We certainly do, and we've got a lot to get excited about. Of course, another victory going the way of Dignitas, this one looking rather good. Things looking great for the Danes in general. 3 still for Astralis, 2 now maintained for Dignitas, and in good, convincing fashion after, a couple of wobbles on Cobble. Yeah, that sounds to say. This one looked a lot better, of course, against Vexed. Now they're gone. 3 teams gone.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to say goodbye to Vexed. I think we get to the real business end of this tournament now. We have the elite teams remaining. Everyone, I think this is a logical conclusion, really. We knew this outcome was coming. But let's talk about that game, really. Dignitas never really looked like they were out of shape at all. They open things up, they get the pistol, and in the first gun round, that's the one they drop. That's a decent B execution coming in from Vexed. It's actually thought, okay, maybe they have some decent chancing here, but that's when the 4th round comes along. That's when we get the config scouts.
Scout, man.
He gets 2 jumping scout shots, and then all of a sudden, the game's turned on its head. They're completely out of it by that stage. You see, and then they got 3 rounds or total, maybe 4 in the first half, and it just felt like they never really had any footing going into
And
that.
config in general, he turned up. He
He
turned up.
well.
Finally, he's turned up. There he is.
I'm going to take a step back on that a little bit, though, because earlier against Fnatic in that situation, he's had to go against Olaf on that entry position and Crims on that entry position. you could argue that he played it the exact same game. It's just that the style favored him because we saw that Fnatic's so good at getting through smokes. What happened when they tried to go through smokes? Sorry, all 5 dead.
Yeah, but he also did it a little too often, and actually they started to counter him pretty well. They started to nade the spot, and he jumped through and just got completely annihilated every time. So bit predictable, maybe.
17 frags in 11 rounds. Config was there.
It's all right.
I mean, yeah, he had trouble against Fnatic. This time he obviously looked a lot more comfortable, whether that's the opponent, whether that's, of course, just less pressure on his particular position. But it did feel like Dignitas are still sticking to their guns. You know, we said already, it's predictable for us, it's predictable for their opponents, and just doesn't seem to matter. They know it works, and it continues to work, despite them being rather known.
And they're good in pistols as well.
Yeah, well, that Rubino,
man.
On the second half, like he goes crazy in a 3-on-1. That's just the final nail in the coffin. Looking like they had that tied
And it's not
up.
the first time he did it in the Pro League, just last week. It was got a 4K again against NIP. It was NIP.
Okay, NIP, yeah.
This is the thing, right? So we've got players like Config getting 5-mans on the upper platform. We've got Rubino winning 1-on-3s. These are just rounds you can't really afford to lose, especially in the rounds as well. When you come into that force buy against the CTs, they beat you with a scout. It's so many rounds like that I can think of that's the reason why they lost. They're not winning these key rounds, the most important rounds of the game. They're throwing away. So it's difficult for Vexed. I think they've got a lot to learn here, but I think they can take some stuff away. They definitely, Furlan for one, impressed me a lot. Like that guy throughout this tournament been in crazy entry fragger. Like we watched on Overpass earlier versus G2, he's just cracking open that B-bomb site by himself every single time. So for me, him and Rylan as well. Rylan's been a great AWPer as well, great asset to that team. I thought like they need to develop a little bit more. It seems like their approach to some sort of situations are lacking. Like that pistol round comes to mind as well. Like we discussed it while it was going on. It seems like it was 3 1-on-1 situations that have actually worked.
That was the Rubino one.
It wasn't like Rubino was like being given these 1v1s. It was more of a case of
they were so far spread.
They were just there. He didn't have to make 1v1s. Excuse me. They were just given to him. That's another good point. You know that fourth round. You know where we brought that scout. They basically were popping him. He got greedy on the statue. Furlan turned up and picked up 4. Like it's just Jesus, Furlan. I mean, you're right. There's players to watch from those polls.
It almost cost them the round. Config just doing the hop, skip, and a jump a little too much, and it went down to a 1-on-1 in the end. And you know, a lucky no-scope could have turned that round very differently, maybe turned the score a little bit more. But I think that's always looked in control in that game.
Indeed, they did. And I want to take a step back and look at those lives now, because you said already, we've got, you know, through the nitty-gritty, we've got that 5 teams, of course, the 4 invited plus Dignitas, as we always kind of outlined it before. Now let's look, you know, let's see the lay of the land, where things remain. So at the end of that, as the dust does settle and we wave goodbye to 3 teams, we now see Envy with just the 1, Fnatic 2, and things are looking good for the Danes as well, 5 between them.
So, well, that's the thing, 5 between them, and right now, there's 5 between the entire alliance against them. So the play is to try and knock 1 more life off of G2, puts them down to just 1 remaining, and then they're hoping Fnatic actually knock out Envious. There's 3 lives, 2 teams, and then you can pit 1-on-1 battles for the rest of the alliance.
And then Fnatic have got no choice but to select probably G2 versus Dignitas, you would assume. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here, because Astralis G2 is not a done deal.
Absolutely.
That went to overtime on Dust 2, and now, honestly, G2 should have won that game.
Hasn't that been the trend this entirety of the event? But we're like, good God, they should have had it, and it just slips away with silly mistakes. And we're going to be seeing if that happens again. I don't want to jump into pre-match because we are going to have, we're going to do a full segment on that, so let's not get too excited. But it is up next. As you can tell, we're ready to talk about G2 Astralis, and that's just coming up after our break. So we're going to go ahead and take 5, and when we come back, we're going to be seeing if this Danish alliance can continue to thrive here in Barcelona.